me, Disneyland asked the Americans, after you pulverized Jamila's head on the coastline and she came back like this, the nails, all news on the news around the world. Why would the Vatican and the Opus Dei, where I was born, together with Lara Quintus and Nadia Erect, in the same hospital? In stupid times for 3 high schools, in stupid times. Why would they have thrown every water on me, from the Russians, the Muslims, the Brits, the inner circles in Woolwich and Rome? It's not a question of just the Chinese and the Italians and the others. If they bring back a dead baby from the coastlines and the social security number is Delft, the church from the lowlands of New Holland, Netherlands, and they do all news on the news. Let's say the girl had to connect the dots, club balls in 80 countries and 25 states. Of course, that's not where I worked everywhere. And so that I used to be more towards the waterfronts, like Italy, England, the coastlines. Okay. In any case, so was Nash, so was Woolwich, so the Italians. So the fucking retard. Now, when those guys, you are phenomenal, you did something big, that's the intel. Now, when the religions turn around and say, those assholes smashed your head on the coastlines and you did something historic, and it's the number 221 for stupid times, usually, instead of being assholes and sending me psychos at the Dolores shelter in San Francisco from Fresno, LA federal prison that you claim the Fresno's blah, blah, blah. You already know you're retards. Because that shit was already lost with the nails ages ago. Mermaid and all, Titanic and plowed my ass around the world. You ain't gonna reopen that shit. You open your tube ass bags and stop name calling me, because I swear by God, I'm at my last legs in Disneyland. The amount of pains that this one felt as a child growing up around the world, after you had sulfurized her head on the coastlines, came back like this. And those genetic freak schools of the unusual. These big relics. Look, she even has blues after that. What a miracle. Yeah, that's why they call it phenomenal. It doesn't grow on trees. And those buildings didn't shut down for anybody else but me at La Sapienza and Woolwich. They're not going to be saying only the scientific intelligence or the space breaks or the sciences. They're not speaking about lowland cancer. That was easy for that girl. She had the sponsors in the UN and in Woolwich, in the inner circles, Martin's Node and sciences. That's all news on the news, the nails, you fuck up. Now, considering that I have been extremely nice to you on my crawlies and literal crawlies out of Fresno for the parents, and I did connect those globals for myself, I only have 147 to 221 to make the Scotland film happen. Okay, I came back, I don't know why I exist, to look at the bitches in the US speak to me about their PhDs and their limousines. I don't care. I'm not on earth, 221 Delft, to tell you that something big ass happened on your coastlines in California and you tried to fucking bury me and I came back. The CIA has plum has. The mermaid to Titanic happened ages ago. Like you missed that shit ages ago. You ain't gonna change it. I'll change up. It's negative outcome. You call it the Manhattan Project of the 21st century, and I call it you fucking assholes. You're still paying for that. And I'm dead. And I don't even know how. What I'm trying to say is this. I got 1% to 221. That's why Pink has to stay in Rome for 10 minutes with the parents. The parents are born in pioneer camps beyond the capital city, so they're not born in Rome like in stupid times, me, Woolwich, just crash me time. Okay? They're directorates, D1s of Oslo, TCOR, US8. In 160, 180 countries about for dad, even more. And Matt, 140. Pioneers at the age of 5. Sports, the whole thing. Again, very, very young. Again, everything very young. The child was a phenomenon in sciences with some space science breaks. La Sapienza has been empty in new mathematics and physics and other shit ever since I had my head smashed in on the coastlines and came back as Okay? Now, you're not going to start speaking to me about all news on the news like you didn't know the shit around the world. In the US. Now, the Barons are calmly on retirements at Fresno. They have the hanging benches of Laura Quintus and Lottie Rector Many Flies, 92 and 92 and above. Beyonds, the library, and 85. The runnings and blinds of that girl. Now we have the Crawleys and literal Crawleys of that girl. You call me the trained poodle in the house, I'll kill you. Take a geography class or something. In other words, Fresno, is not geography. That shit should have been space bomb long ago. Sending me psychos in Frisco tells me, because that's already dad, and I'm Disneyland, I connected to those globals, and I live in the house with the parents. It tells me that within the US, of intel that we know, you're losing. The psychos know what that girl did. Those buildings are empty because I'm dead. So sending me psychos tells me, my brad's on drugs, the federal prison in LA from Fresno, got problems with that bitch, it's Disneyland. For them, you're mentally retarded around the world. For the baby alone. I swipe 221. For stupid times. It's a plumbing time as a number. Well, guess what? I'm not exactly me, am I? Ding, 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 ding. Boom, boom. Well, not after self-arising my brain on the coastlines and bringing me back like this. You think I'm gonna be scared of you? Motherfucker! I've seen the fucking world more than you think. And I go 1 for 7 to 2 to 1 to make Rome and for Rome happen after that. I cease existing. And if there is anything out there, all news on the news, Nails Blues, they're elsewhere. They're nowhere near the original on the coastlines. Nowhere near me, Disneyland, and nowhere near the parents. When are you gonna get 2 to 1? Stop giving me your careerists. Stop giving me your power games. Stop giving me your opinions of things. Stop. Do what you have to do in Fresno with the Scotland film. Stay out and space bomb that place. And for crying out loud, you see, those nurses, Tom and Jerry Diet House, his puppy Dick's fries, his privates, his friendiosos, his wingmen, his house buddies. That place has been the same ever since in the middle of the desert of California. From the beginning of the flyings, the runnings of that girl that many times around the world. And Mike Crawleys. You ass. You ass on the coastlines. Because on the coastlines, it's a different line of work. They're directorates. The girl did something else. Delph, the nome de fatto. So why did they bring back in stupid times the dead baby? To be abused? No. So we have The Hague and the Bureau de Veritas with Dirkian saying your middle name is void, everything you had is gone, you're just empty. Because you're dead on the ghost lines, replacement tripod child. What did he say? Now we have the Roman Tribunal in Rome for your psychos and everything else. Hospital, the whole shit. Just for me, asswipe. You're extras of extras following me on my literal Crawleys. I don't care if they're from Fresno. They're in Fresco! And you allowed them to be here. This is no experiment, assholes. This is serious. Your government is paying for everything, even for a dead baby. And that shit's been empty-fying ever since with the plum heads around the globe out. Why? Because you killed record-breaking intel. You want to hear Nobel Prizes? We don't call it Nobel Prizes. We call it record-breaking intel. You imbecile. This is not a competition. Who has a better fucking PhD, tits and ass, husband, and a fucking limo? Cazzo di tutto one. Disneyland can tell you this. Around the world. What are you, stupid? Therefore, you have 147 to 2 to 1 to stay in Rome for retirements. Father and mother have tried. They say it's the bestest and the easiest for everybody, even for them. And as for me, if they catch a baby, she's ready Disneyland, we'll take care of it. There's a couple of blues, we'll get them. There's too many. Anyway. Well, kick crumbs. And stop comparing me to Bin Laden. I was famous and called celeb around the world for something else. That's why they brought back this one. You cannot keep denying shit. You're Western Iran for me. And for the parents, it's something else. You cannot. In Intel, when they do that, you know what it means. You're stupid. Really stupid times. In any case, what I'm saying to you is get over yourselves. Because this world loses because of idiots. And I'm not going to apologize for you. I'm not. Because if that girl was famous for that shit, which she is, and is famous, and known by now that she had her head smashed in on your coastlines, you're still denying it and still sending cycles. It means this country is not worth shit for them. And because that was Mermaid, was Titanic, was Globals, old nails on the nails on the old news on the news, Platinum has, you're still going to be so, we killed her, smashed the head of Intel on the coastlines. Well, we heard the Platinum, let's kill Disneyland. The relic of the Manhattan Project. This is the US. That's why they're upset. Even for me. You morons. Psycho shit. And your military, I don't like it, bitch. I don't like, what are you, jealous of the dead baby? After you smashed her head in on the coastlines. Is that what we're hearing? Jealousy and envy, colloquially, in 80 countries and 25 states since I'm 5 years old, vomiting this cheap shit. Control yourselves. You want? You dream. Then do. Achieve. Don't smash somebody's head in on the coastlines and just say, where's the real? I didn't know that. News on the news. Think. You want to go to college? You want to go to the military? You want to have a career? What career do you have? If the only thing you send is smelly asses towards a Disneyland version of that girl that had to do all that shit around the world, let alone for the parents and all the crawlies and all the little crawlies for the father and mother and their retirements in Fresno. Do you have any fucking brains, US? And then you say, well, why is there a revolution for the father and mother? Why? Why are they sticking to 92 and above in Fresno? Why? They're not going to something 85. Oh, was running. Why? You have to go back to kindergarten at the age of 5 where I was in Indios in Rome. You ugly inside. And there's the Scotland film. You can keep your PhDs and your achievers. That shit's empty and you won't reopen it. It's mine. Dirk-Jan van Dam. Void girl. After you smashed in my head, and that's why I'm back. Connected those Globals Disneyland. 2, 2, 1. You ballerina. I'll use on the news nails. Eat your own medicine. And I wasn't alone. I don't want to say Mermaid, Titanic, I'll say. I'll use on the news. And now, I wonder why Elon Musk moved to Texas. Would you think? You know, for the Barons, if you had a father like that, you dream of having a father like mine, a papa like mine. You dream of having a mother like mine. And you Fresno bitches, nurses, hospital, wingmen, nursing home, shootouts, the reputation of Fresno around the world and within the US. Shut up! You disgust everybody. For the girl, you have already disgusted everybody. People are reeking on that one, just looking at the one. What the fuck happened to that one? Connected those Globals. For the parents, it's not even in their dictionary by now. That many times. You should have got those assholes ages ago with a space bomb. And you know what? I'm not running for Miss America. In fact, I'm not running for anything. I'm crawlies and little crawlies. Flies, rise, space break, size break, attack break, blah, 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 blah. Elsewhere in the world, defending the Paris like crazy. 92, above. 85, that many runnings, flies, and then I go crazy. I see something on the coastline. What about President? Ah! Here comes finish. A blip in time in stupid times. Delph, the lowlands. You have no brains, and you don't know why those guys continue without me. Blah, 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 blah. Aha, no clue, darling. Maybe you're the genius, Mademoiselle Phenomena. But stranger, what about Fresno for the Barons? On retirements? That many times Sunday. To such a shit ass like you in Fresno. And you were spitting vitriol at me, trying to kill me in Fresno. The triads had to be my boyfriend. Javier for 6 years without a high school. The best shooters. Why? On my girls in little what? Just for the baby. Carroceria just to get the baby out. Then you have the cycles in Frisco. Ooh. Why they get me out of Frisco? Immediately abroad, the usual, Greyhound, for 20 years. First Gump, how many times on the girls and little girls? Yeah. All those capital cities. so that you can feel special about your nursing degrees at Fresno and your doctors, locale, and your shootouts and your puppy dicks. Privates of Tom and Jerry Tartarts. Buddies, friends, and wingmen. In other words, the town of Fresno schools, I must tell you. Lala! Lala! You hated me. And that shit that you say is for Fresno that's here in Frisco? Oh man, you allowed them here. You think I care? You want to violate, baby? I got shit sticking Ramatar boot. No, look at that. We're prepared for everything for Disneyland. Paperwork and all. I don't trail of paperwork just for myself. And guess what? There's a hole in the wall after you smash my head in on the ghost lines. What a miracle. Must be stupid times, Germany. After Silver Mountains, after smashing my head in with silver on a ghost line, that's what you get. Boop, boop, boop. That's if that's the old news on the news around the world with black men. Connected us to the bells. Oh, I'm so beautiful. By the way, the only thing I have in common with Jamila is the eyebrows. The original. As for the parents, the hanging benches of Laura Quintus and Natalie Direct, many flies, 92, 92 and above, the only one they accepted. 85, 85, all those runnings, mostly runnings on 85, 85. And of course, the knowledge. I'll go with Las Vegas again. I don't have pretenses, but I'm not going to have my teeth removed at the age of 5 and stay in genetic freak schools in the US so that you can feel good about Kirkland's long legs and Vanessa's ET fingers and this one going. They're saying, you shouldn't be in here, darling. We're regular ones here. Uba, uba. And you, my darling, you left a lot of empty shit around Western Europe empty. Especially I said that. When you had your head bashed in. But I guess, it would have been a waste to smash your head on the coastlines and not bring it back somehow. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Man, isn't that old news on the news, asshole? And I had to connect the dots globals with this shit. What about the parents? Lara, Natalie Direct? Yes, dear. How many times do I have to do this? You were with me in elementary primary schools, and middle school, and high school. Actually, Natalie Direct moved to high school to St. George's. Mm-hmm. Having said that, she was also in high school. But Lara Quintus was with me the whole time. In fact, Natalie Direct was with me for about 10 years or more. Lara Quintus longer. Then again. Yes, Lara. Amy Quintus, the bully, the beautiful bully. Bulla, 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 bulla. Having said that, me to be a bully, she meant to put that boy at school to lecture. I guess. Try to be a buller. In any case, what we're saying is you're going to lose. You're going to lose with those guys on the coastlines. You're going to lose with those guys around the world because they already have plan man. Ship sunk ages ago. So man, that's a project of the 21st century. So you're not going to change. Oh, yo, down. Don't you fucking be a retard with me. And that's not Fresno either for the parents on their retirements. So I'm the trade poodle in the house, as they call me, and I can only tell you this. You're ugly. And the reason I'm saying this is because when Intel does something, it does things with something in mind. And what you're doing with your bitches and your assholes, or whores or whatever, with me and Frisco Fresno, ain't no Intel. Not even for the baby. No. So this is what we're showing. So when you get all the fucking blessings, those assholes are the biggest assholes we have seen on the face of the planet. The cheapest ones too. For your parents, forget it. That shit was a bomb, space bomb long ago. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. So if you don't mind, I don't want to be rude to you, you ass. But that shit that was that girl with those guys is gone. You smashed her head in. Those bridges have been shut down in DC, July 20. That's my birthday. I'm sorry I was the leader of the pack of the flyers and runners. But you don't give a shit about anything. Even when a relic comes back up, and I knew it. You were just going to forget about it. And I knew it. I knew in Western Europe. I knew in the UN. I knew the Russians. I knew the Saudis in stupid times. I knew the British inner circles will just go, whoa. Martin Snowden Sciences. Colin Hill is someone else. You are not worth it. You're not worth it, you ask. It is Martin Snowden who has the white hairs, the eyebrows. He's the scientist. Colin Hills is someone else. You are not worth it. US. Because you dream of having all that. You had it before. You had the intel of that girl on 92, 92 and above of the band. She was working elsewhere when she was flying. No one says a word. On 85, 85, what happened? At the end of 85, 85, of all those runnings of that girl on the ghost lines. So for its eye brain, come back like this and I'm supposed to shut the fuck up for your ass. Around the world's connected, those globals. I'm not afraid of you. The pains I had before and the pains I had for the father and the mother at the beginning of that number. You! Like a crab, molting and then becoming a candle wind. Oh, well, it's abuse. I'm gonna wash it off. You want to abuse, baby? Go ahead. Or cycles too. Oh! They'll be staying in the Roman tribunal and vote if you kill that girl. The Disney version. Goodbye. And you know what? This baby is worth more than you. And I'm 50 years old. And I only have 1 + 7 to 2 to 1 left. I will not be reborn in a genetic You're ugly. Ugly that you showed it this way to the rest of the world. They showed it to you, US. Keep your PhDs. And as for all the blessing, man, Master Jimmy will adopt you. And those. I have something happened in the way. And those blues, there's too many of them. A few of them. Eggs. Colloquialities. And now, who is this Fresno's intelligence again in the middle of the desert of California with the parents? Oh, Chichabella. That was one of those lines. That's a priori thinking. And so now have fun with Disneyland. Disneyland has taken a lot more abuse than you think. Not only connected those globals in all those countries. On her crawlies and electric crawlies for the parents. Out of Fresno's retirements. And you know what? This one has no shame. I'm not someone like you. I know what happened to that girl on the coastlines when you smashed her head in with her teeth and everything. That beauty that shut down buildings around the world. In Massachusetts and NASA, on the coastlines in ESSA. Technology, La Sapienza, and Woolwich. And of course my countries. That's where I came from. You smashed me here in the US. You want to say California? Let's say California. In that to the US, there's a Scotland film. I used to be on the coastlines. Marine coastlines. Water creature. Like Woolwichers. Like Italy. Very strange country, don't you think, US? To keep losing that kind of intel. While others, I'm the best. And that's for Poland. You don't pay some Ukrainian shit here and from Fresno, federal prison in LA, here in Frisco, Dolores, and Ukrainian shit over there. That went right out. And how? In fact, it went so bad for that guy. The amount of poison that my system has gone through. You have no, and his family. You haven't understood this. You haven't understood that your people are not that stupid in the rest of the US not to see this. Even for the dead baby. That's why there's the Hague and the empty buildings, and the Bureau de Veritas and the empty buildings, and the Roman Federal Tribunal for your psychos for the baby on her literal crawlies. And then, if anything else happens, they will add. Otherwise, this is a piece of paper, 2 to 1, is veramente. This Disneyland around the world connected, those globals called Cerebro with beautiful shit, empty. The banks were reopened. Banks are but ugly, chichucha. Chicholela. So, if a dad could talk on the ghost lines with her head smashed in, that's me. Blip in and blip out. 2 to 1. Stupid times. And as for the Germans, they sided with Jamila. Didn't tell. Yes. I found out even Thierhofen. Why? She's called celeb. Because they know about the buzz after you smashed that girl's head in on the ghost lines. She must have been something. Jamila. That's not the parents either. Goodbye. No, because you're losing. And you know about the nails. You know about the nails around the world. And you knew about Watership Down and all that shit ages ago around those capital cities. And within the US. What are your pretenses for that girl? For me. That's not the parents. Now, pioneer camps beyond the capital cities, parents? Whoo! Pioneers at a young age. D1s. Osro. TCY, USA, the whole fucking bus gone nuts in Western Europe. I was born and raised there, you stupid ass. Fuck you. Who kissed Craft City in stupid times? For what? You're losing, US. You're being plagued by others. And then you still have problems with me? That tells me everything. It tells me everything. You're stupid. And that's what they're telling you to your face through me. And bad. And you don't believe that. And then you look at Fresno, the verbal vitriol that came out of it. Not only cheap-ass criminals, the verbal vitriol. Oh, please. On my crawlers and electro crawlers, they got the whole fucking world wanting to bomb that place. I can't stop it. You'll be lucky if you get a space bomb, Fresno. Nice nurses. You famous for something. Even on the coastlines, coming back out as Phoenix. Whoa, wow. What about the parents? That many times, that many flyings, that many runnings around the world. Huh? What about the hanging benches of Laura Quintus and Nanny Direct defending the little nurses in Fresno? Don't care. Born and raised there. The girlfriends of who? What about the others? The shootouts and this and that. And politics. That's why, US, you're not worth it. Goodbye. No! Scotland film! I was in that film. Stay in row for retirement. Run on for run! Demonstrations of... Maybe I didn't pull it up. I don't know yet when I was a child growing up. Yeah. Okay, Disneyland, Angels help. And keep your PhDs right up your ass. Goodbye.